Mamas, if you're like me, one of your big parenting goals is to raise kids who are generous and thoughtful and caring. We want them to make the world a better place and donate to charity and be positive role models and citizens of the world. That's why almost every allowance system these days seems to have a save, spend, give jar. But how do we make that give jar feel real to our kids? How do we make it feel like not just money we're taking away from them, but something that can have a real impact? Well, today we're going to talk about 5 strategies to make charitable giving a normal part of your kid's life so that they grow up to be adults who feel like there is always an abundance, always enough to bless others. These are simple strategies that you can build into your everyday life so that your kid learns the lessons that we want them to learn, so that they learn to care about others and to feel empathetic. So let's get started. Kids who are caring and want to give to the world and understand that there's abundance and there's always enough to go around, it has to start at home and it has to start early. So today we have 5 tips on how to raise kids who are generous and charitable. And we're going to start with the easiest one, which we can start with even our little guys. And we work with our 18-month-old already, which is to encourage empathy, to ask good questions like, how do you think your brother felt when you pushed him down? Or how would you feel if someone told you the thing you were doing weren't good, or you're not good at puzzles, right? We want to get them to start thinking about how other people feel, understanding where they are in their lives, and that your lived experience is not everybody's lived experience, right? Getting that ability to think outside themselves can start really young and is a huge, huge part of being charitable and generous and being good citizens of the world. So that's step 1, encourage empathy. Step 2, and one of my favorite ones, and ones that you can start with little toddlers all the way up, is to find their passion. I think sometimes charitable giving feels really foreign to kids. We don't know why we're giving our money or our toys to somebody else. But when we frame it around their passion, they get really excited about it. And that might be, it might mean for a certain amount of time that they are kind of giving to themselves in giving to the world. I think about kids who adopt a dog from a dog shelter, right? That's a perfect entry place. They love their dog. They love that they got their dog from the shelter. So they can raise money to donate food to the shelter. They can use their allowance to buy some toys to drop off at the shelter, right? It builds that confidence and that real having an impact that they understand, right? It's finding their passion. For my 3-year-old, he loves ocean animals. Like, I swear every night at bedtime, we watch a 3 or 4 minute National Geographic video about a different sea creature. He loves sea creatures. So for him, the World Wildlife Foundation is a perfect way to get him interested in giving. We save up to, with World Wildlife, if you donate, I think it's $50, you also get a stuffed animal back and you get a little card about that animal and you're adopting that animal. He loves that. He loves to pick which animal we've been learning about and save for it. And we match his savings at this age because obviously at 3.5 he doesn't get a lot of allowance. But letting them connect. There's charities out there that give books to underserved communities or that provide art supplies and art classes to communities that don't have those things. So figure out what your kid is really excited about and let them give in that realm, right? If they're big athletes, find ways to support youth sports in different communities and really cue into what they're excited about and tie it to that. Let them build that base. And then as they get older and they get more experience, help them expand outside that a little bit into things that are important. And that comes in to step number 3, which is lead by example. Every parenting book, every piece of research will tell us over and over again that our kids watch what we do, not what we say, right? And we can tell them 1,000 times over that they need to fill their give jar and their save, spend, give allowance jars. We can tell them that it's important to care about the world. But unless they see us doing it, it's just not going to have the same impact. So talk about how you're giving. Talk about how you think about giving as a family, who you help. Go and volunteer at soup kitchens and adopt families for the holidays and really just make it a day-to-day normal part of their lives. This is something that then they will think is just a normal behavior. It's a normal part of the budget, right? Talk about it. Talk about the impact it has. Talk about how you evaluate these companies, right? These nonprofits that you're donating to. Are they good stewards of money? Are they having good impacts? Do they have good values? Really, really bring them into the conversation and lead by example. The 4th one is to use real events. And this is another one that comes back to finding their passion and making it real for kids, is by using real events, they can be having an impact in their local community and in things they're seeing on a regular basis, right? If they see on the news about a major hurricane, or they hear about the fact that homeless populations really struggle in the winter because they don't have socks or they don't have hats, make that the thing that you work on, right? Put together a food donation box for a local community, or for hurricane efforts. Figure out, help them research on the internet what these disaster events need. Do they need blankets? Do they need paper towels? Do they need diapers? And support those things and spend to those causes, so that when they see these events, they know that they can have an impact and they can help. But also, so those events are a little less stressful for them, because they feel like it's not just this horrible thing that they see on the news and that just happens to people and they worry about, but that knowing that if that ever happened to them, there would be communities there to lift them up as well. It's a way to make even the worst situations a little more uplifting for kids. And then finally, the fifth step is to make it a family affair. And we talked about this in Lead by Example, but this is like, okay, we're going to adopt a family for the holidays and we're going to send them gifts and food. Come help me shop for the 5-year-old on our list. Come to the soup kitchen and help us give out food. Help mom and dad decide what organization we want to support this year for our charitable giving. If you have a charitable budget and you're deciding between 3 or 4 nonprofits, talk about it over dinner. Talk about what those different organizations do, the pros and cons, and let them have a say, let them have a voice, and be involved in giving. These 5 things are simple. They're a way to build it into their day-to-day. It doesn't require huge amounts of money. You don't have to be someone with thousands of dollars in charitable giving, but it will teach your kids that there's always enough. There's always enough to support another family in need, to support another child in need. And it will also, the side benefit for them is it builds a money mantra that there's enough to go around. And I think a lot of people struggle with a scarcity mindset. We see it in adults, we see it in kids, this fear that there's not enough money, there's not enough goods. And by raising a charitable child, they will know that there is enough, that there's always a penny to stretch to help somebody else. And if there's a penny to help somebody else, there's a penny to support you as well, right? So good luck raising charitable kids. If you have tips on how you do this in your own house, or charities that your kids love to support, drop them in the comments to give other parents ideas. And remember to hit that subscribe button so you get actionable money tips every week straight from Smart Money Mamas. Talk to you soon, mamas.